Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, a game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Jeff and I will be your host today. Joining us in the studio, we have a few special guests along with our normal hosts, but I'll ask our scorekeeper Ken to introduce everyone.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm back after my vow of silence. The other day I was braving some of these Chicago temperatures. It's been pretty much below zero every day, and I went to order a pizza. Found my favorite place was not on Grubhub, so unfortunately I had to break that vow of silence and give them a call. Get that sweet cheese.
Well, I'm sure Papa John wasn't too happy that you didn't...
It was not Papa John's. Neal, thank you. Anyways, to my left, we have our normal hosts, Neal and Matt. How you guys doing?
Good. How's it going?
Yep, normal as ever.
Yeah, and they're going to be Team Triviality today. Mm-hmm. To my right, we have our guests, Ryan and Justeen. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing quite well. Thanks for having us.
And together, your Team ChoSteen?
Yes.
That's a combination of Ryan's last name and obviously Justeen's first name. So without further ado, I think we'll go ahead and kick into the game. But first, a rules introduction by Sam Carr.
There's a whole crowd of people out there who need to learn how to do
the cream.
Well, my name's Sam Carr, and I'm here to say the rules of the game in a major way. First, you answer 10 questions, and that's the first round. Then 10 more questions, and that's the second round. Halftime bonus, swing round theme, that's how you be the cream. Answer 10 questions, and that's the first round. Then 10 more questions, and that's the second round. Bet on the final, 30 points each, that's how you be the cream.
The cream of the crop!
So, Jeff, am I mistaken, or was that from The Office?
No, I believe that may be the tune for the Scarn.
The Scarn from the Threat Level Midnight?
Yes, a song within a film within a TV show.
Very good. Well, that was hilarious, Sam, so thanks for sending that in.
That was awesome. We're going to make sure we replay that theme many times.
Yeah, we really liked that. Brent did a great job last week as well. If that's something that you guys would like to do, just go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast and support us as a United States champion or higher.
Yeah, and we have a sort of an influx of Patreon supporters come in at the end of December and the beginning of January. So thank you to you guys. Jeff, who are those names?
Yes, thank you very much to our new supporters, Zach Nolick, Liz Hudson, Sam Carr, Joe Wen, Paula Forrest, Russ Friedwald, and Phil Sanford. Thank you very much. That covers, I think, up to current from all of December and January. So we really appreciate that, you guys. It's been really great. So thank you.
Thanks to all of those Patreon supporters. We really do appreciate it a lot. Before we get into the game, why don't we kind of get to know our new contestants a little bit? So what brings you into the studio today? You guys big trivia fans or just kind of passing by?
So, yeah, thanks. I love trivia, and there was a point in my life in which I considered myself good at trivia, and then I listened to your podcast and I realized how unintelligent I am. So
we feel the same way while we record.
It's a lot of fun, though.
I guess, like, as long as I know the theme of trivia, I feel like I'm pretty good at it, but I just find it really entertaining.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well, we hope that it's entertaining for everybody. So without further ado, want to get started, Jeff?
Sounds good. Everybody ready?
Let's do it.
Great. Question 1. I've heard that this 1977 album by Fleetwood Mac is the 8th best-selling album of all time, selling over 40 million copies.
I feel like there was a little hint in there, Jeff.
I don't know anything about Fleetwood Mac.
That's
I'm
a shame.
useless.
I saw Fleetwood Mac at a show when I was like 12 or 13 when I first smelled pot everywhere. It was with REO Speedwagon, and Mick Fleetwood had a giant symbol behind him, which I thought was cool. So it was nice to see them. But
like a gong?
It was a giant gong, yeah, which was pretty cool. But he only used it like twice in the whole show, and I thought it was just a really big waste for the roadie to have to carry that everywhere.
How many times do you want him to hit a gong during the show?
I would say if you're bringing out like a 2,000-pound gong, you should at least hit it once per song.
Mm-hmm.
Look, they're Fleetwood Mac. They can afford the roadie.
Now, is that where you started your tradition of your Fleetwood Mac Sex Pants?
Well, the Fleetwood Mac Sex Pants started when I had a tryst with one of the lead singers who shall remain nameless.
Here's your answer, Fleetwood Mac Sex Pants.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, so they're locked in with the answer.
So I wrote down with Matt here, I think Jeff's clue was I've heard maybe, I'm not sure, but the only thing that came to mind is I believe one of Fleetwood Mac's best-selling albums is a self-titled album, so that's kind of where I'm at, Matt. I don't know what you're thinking.
That's better than anything I have because it's probably the name of one of their albums, so we should probably go with that.
Cool. So we're going to lock in with Fleetwood Mac Self-Titled.
All right, so you're just saying Fleetwood Mac, and ChoSteen is going Fleetwood Mac Sex Pants, but I have a feeling that Ken wants to chime in here.
Rumors?
It is Rumors.
No points to start off today.
That does nothing.
Question 2. On a 12-hour clock, you may need to reference AM and PM to tell you if it's 5 in the morning or 5 in the afternoon. What do AM and PM stand for?
I did know this at one point in time.
I actually opt for the 24-hour clock on my cellular phone. It's much more easy, much simpler.
Is that what we would call military time?
So military time is when you remove the colon.
Really?
Correct.
I hear that's also a cosmetic procedure in LA you can get.
It's true.
Yeah, we're locked in.
All right. Team ChoSteen?
We went after midnight and pre-midnight.
Oh, we had the same terrible answer after midnight and pre-midnight.
Well, if you thought about it, what separates AM from PM? Midday. So it's ante, before, and post meridiem, midday.
Oh.
Okay.
After that question, I'd like to take a Tylenol PM and wish that never happened.
Oh, Neal, your brutal beating is still awaiting you.
Just wishing the day away.
This is Jeff getting mad at me that I somehow beat him one-on-one against all odds. And he turned in his jersey to Ken and, in Rudy fashion and said, I'm done.
Yeah. He's walking away.
I like how Neal always says that my games are revenge for prior games that I've lost to him.
Everything you do is revenge, Jeff.
You're a very vengeful person.
It's a dish best served cold. Question 3. What country has a 20-mile border with China via its panhandle known as the Wakhan Corridor? This panhandle was the closest that British and Russian colonial influence ever got, though we had no trouble being there.
I think we've come up with an answer.
Okay.
I don't know why I said it like that.
It's definitely an answer.
Fair enough.
We'll lock in too.
We'll
I
lock
think.
in.
Yeah.
All right. Team Triviality, what'd you say?
Vietnam.
Okay.
We said India.
India is a little bit closer to the country of Afghanistan. So Afghanistan separated current Pakistan from the Russian Empire, so it was the closest the British and Russians ever got on land, 20 miles.
We were thinking of the wrong U.S. invasion.
Yeah, there's so many, it's hard to count.
So far, the board is clean.
The board is clean, that's right.
Thanks for the score update, Ken.
We can expect no less from Jeff's question.
It's true. Question 4. This video game series name references the fact that it was supposed to be the last project for its developer. Fortunately for us, that was not the case.
Locked in.
You got anything?
I haven't played many video games recently.
He's going to say it and I'm going to go nuts because I'm going to know it.
I know.
Was the last Remnant, was that Square Enix? I don't know who developed it though. I think they were the publishers.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that game.
I hate this.
This is the rare occurrence where I know the answer and I can just gloat on the other side of the table.
This is a case of the microphone jitters, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because knowing Ryan as I do.
Yeah, Ryan and my brother are the biggest video game guys I've known. And they play every game ever released.
More or less.
More or less, yeah. And so this is interesting.
No, this is driving me nuts. I have a feeling it's a Japanese title though. All right, I don't want to holds up anymore. I'll lock in.
Okay.
And what did you lock in with?
The Last Remnant.
All right. And Matt.
So you did say the developer is Square. It was they were going bankrupt and it was their last game and it was their Final Fantasy.
Oh God! Come on.
I was thinking that too, actually.
Ryan's looking around for a bridge to jump off. Right now.
That's so bad. I should have known that one.
You are right.
When you said Square Enix, I was like, oh, he might work his way back to it.
I was trying not to have a tell at that point because I was
That's
like, ooh.
that's so easy. All right. Off to a good start.
Focus up,
I got
Ryan.
this. I got this.
Question 5. Today's question 5 comes from Peter Wynn. So thank you for that, Peter. Words sometimes have two meanings that are the opposites of each other. For example, the word out can mean visible or invisible, as in the moon is out or the lights went out. What is that called?
These are always things that I mean to look up because there's names for like all of these things, and then I never do. And that would be beneficial at this exact moment in time. Oh my God, it's too early. My brain.
The answer is one word. Am I allowed to ask that? The answer is one word and not like hyphenated.
So there are actually 5 acceptable answers that all mean this. One of them is hyphenated.
Oh God, there's 5 answers and we have 0.
There are 5 acceptable. Yeah. The English language overfloweth with words to describe this phenomena.
I was out late last night. I just want to point that out.
Oh, I know. I saw some photos you were tagged in at like 3:30 this morning. So, okay. So what'd you say, Team Triviality?
I said Antagon, which I don't know if it's a thing.
Or antigen, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah, which might be a Lord of the Rings character, to be honest.
I'll say antonym.
Oh.
So it's commonly known as a contronym.
Oh.
Okay.
Also acceptable, an auto-antonym, an antidrome, antogonym, and antilogy are all acceptable words for this phenomenon.
Very common.
So surprisingly, they're both on the right track.
They were both pretty close.
Close.
Yeah.
Good question, Peter. Thank you.
Question 6. Manfred von Richthofen was better known by what colorful nickname?
That's a guess, but I think that's right.
My answer is either right or really embarrassing.
We're probably the same. We're in.
Yeah.
Is that,
We're in.
Okay.
yeah, what's his name? Rainbow Randy from Death to Smoochie?
Yes, Rainbow Range.
Is that his name? Rainbow Randy?
I think so.
All right. Team Triviality, what'd you say on that one?
We went with noted pizza maker, the Red Baron.
Oh, God. We went with Manfred Man.
Very colorful.
No, ace pilot Manfred von Richthofen was known as the Red Baron.
Yeah.
So well done, Team Triviality.
You're close.
Now as I'm hearing the last name, I knew it was Red Baron.
How much would you pay for the Red Baron to physically deliver the pizza by plane to you?
It would cost quite a bit as he's deceased. I'd have to resurrect him first, pay those costs, and then take it from there.
I mean,
Fair
currently
point.
we can't resurrect somebody, so what, you'd have to clone him, wait 18 years for the pizza to arrive?
It might be worth it, though.
Yeah.
Triviality listeners, weigh in.
Does he cook the pizza on the biplane?
Well, no, the Red Baron brings you small pieces of paper that you have to put in the microwave that have silver on the top or whatever that is as a conductor, and then you put the pizza on it and he microwaves it for you.
Correction, Rainbow Randolph.
Oh, correct.
So I was close.
Question 7. What was the name of Adolf Hitler's German Shepherd? The dog shared its name with a 1970s, 80s early new wave band. Don't call me for the answer, though.
Oh.
Okay, looks like Triviality's in.
I also have nothing. This is the only thing I have, but I know this is not it. I'm not going to sing it.
Done.
No, it's like, call me, da, 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 da.
Anything could be a dog name. You know how many terrible dog names there are? Have you ever been to a dog park? People just shout out all sorts of stuff. It's like Cubone. Like, why would you name your dog that?
Pokemon.
I would call him, my bigger one would be called Marowak.
Yeah. Ugh, gross.
I don't know if I'm going to get this, but I think that's the song he's referencing, but that's no help.
Why not?
All right, we'll lock in our false answer.
All right. Triviality's all set? All right, Team ChoSteen, what'd you say?
Duran.
And Team Triviality?
We thought it sounded like a good dog name, and the clue of, I forgot if you said "Don't Call Me" or something. We thought of "Call Me" by Blondie, so we said Blondie.
Yes, spelled differently, but the same name. Blondie was the name of Hitler's German Shepherd.
Yep.
Duran took their name from the Barbarella.
Jane Fonda film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story of Blondie is very sad. Hitler actually poisoned the dog to test out the suicide pills the day before he took his own life, and he was actually more heartbroken about the dog, as was everybody else in the bunker, than he was his own wife.
Jeff, your games are such downers.
But it's Hitler, so
Yeah.
it's an upper.
It's all a downer. Everything is depressing.
Moving on.
All right,
Pass
question 8. What international organization, headquartered in Washington, D.C., consists of 189 member countries, working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, and promote high employment and sustainable economic growth? Don't be confused. This is not the organization Tom Cruise worked for.
Okay, so it's all about money and finance.
The only thing I can think of is World Trade Organization.
That's-
because
I
I'm
think
just
that's right.
taken from the question.
So, as a person with a degree in economics, this is really embarrassing that I don't know the answer to this. And I used to know the answer to this, but I haven't been in school in a few years.
Global finance.
I've heard, and as soon as you say it, I'm going to be really upset. You're a movie guy. Come in with some Tom Cruise stuff from Cocktail. What bar did he work at in Cocktail? Does that help?
Look, I hope this is right. I came to it from a movie angle, but it could be completely wrong.
I will accept the abbreviation for the record.
I can lock this in. We don't have much of a streak to maintain right now anyway.
No, you do have a streak to keep going.
No, yeah, we do have a streak to maintain.
Let's get that locked in.
Streak for the cash.
Okay, we'll lock ours in.
Okay.
All right. Team ChoSteen, what did you say on this one?
We said World Trade Organization?
The WTO?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you guys say?
So we came at it from a movie angle. He said Tom Cruise doesn't work for them in actuality, and Mission Impossible, he works for the IMF. So we said IMF.
I said I would take abbreviations, so I will give you IMF. It is the International Monetary Fund.
That's what it is. Yeah. I had written down like international, global, monetary, and I was just trying to like put them all together. And then when he had IMF, that's kind of when it hit.
Good deduction there.
Yeah.
I'd love to see C-SPAN coverage of the IMF working by John Woo.
Lots of doves in the main atrium.
And I was able to confirm that Duran Duran took their name from the character Dr. Durand from Barbarella.
Oh, and now you know.
The more you know. Question 9. The NFL uses a personnel test named after its creator to evaluate the cognitive abilities of eligible draft candidates at the NFL Combine. What is the name of this test, which features 50 multiple choice questions to be answered in 12 minutes? I have actually taken this test. It's fairly interesting.
Voight Kampf.
I believe it was Vince Young who famously got like a 3 on it. Or like he scored so terrible on it.
And I believe on the other end, Matt Ryan has one of the highest scores of like 49 or 50 on
There's
it.
a lot of debate on it has biases against certain. I
It
mean,
definitely
like any
does.
kind of standardized testing, it's going to have.
No, it definitely
biases.
does. I took it for that purpose, just to see how
would
biased it was.
And were you closer to Vince Young?
I was closer to Matt Ryan than
Okay.
Vince Young.
So this you can just take it online. You can find it.
Yeah, they have him online.
Oh well, I want to see if I'm as good as Matty Ice.
Where did he get that nickname?
Well, because he has ice in his veins, because he's always calm under pressure.
That's true.
I believe that's what it is. I could be completely wrong.
No, I believe you're right.
Always calm under pressure unless he has a huge lead by halftime.
You mean like 21 points up?
We got a streak to maintain here. Come on.
I'd go with it.
Say it.
The Lombardi test.
All right. Team ChoSteen going with the Lombardi test. What did you think, Matt?
It's the Wonderlic test.
It is the Wonderlic test.
That's one of those that if you don't know it, you're not going to get to it because
there's no way.
Wonderlic wasn't a famous quarterback or
Right.
anything.
No, and they use it in things other than the NFL. It just happens to be one of the most prevalent uses of that particular test.
That's our 4th in a row.
Yeah.
Nice job, team.
From a rough start, you guys climbed to 5 on the round so far with 1 question left. Unfortunately, ChoSteen is yet to score. But the second round should be promising for them.
To our listeners like Wesley Wells and David Ruffetto, anyone who posts their score on the comments, just throw in your Wonderlic score in there as well, just for fun.
I would love to rank all of our listeners based on their Wonderlic score.
Yeah, from Vince Young to Matty Ice levels.
All right. Question 10. Final question of round 1. What element must be present as an ion or in a molecule in order to make a solution an acid? That's right. Neal knows everything there is to know about elements now.
I gave up all of that, like a hard drug.
Neal actually gave up acid. So it's New Year's resolution.
You should know this. You know medicine.
I know. It's like coming to me.
Talking about chicken scratch. What are you writing down there?
You can't read that. I can't read that.
It says onion.
I know you're hungry right now, but...
I am.
Where's my craft services, Neal?
We've come up with an element.
Good.
That says onion again.
It doesn't say... How is it saying onion?
Anion? That's an element? So you're thinking that?
Yeah.
Chloride?
Yeah.
Do you want to just go with that?
Yeah, I think we're going to lock in with that one.
Okay. And what did Team Triviality say?
We said chlorine.
The principal function of an acid is that it must lend either an ion or an element of hydrogen.
Neal,
Yeah,
you've shamed us.
It's true.
I wrote the first thing I wrote down.
It's the first element, so.
Sorry.
What's your degree in again?
Don't make me hit you.
Science.
So during that question, Neal ran out of the studio and came back in with a bag of jerky. I'm not sure why he produced a bag of the chewiest food known to man on a podcast, but thanks for that, Neal.
Yes, I've been very much enjoying it.
Just dip it in water, it'll slide on your gullet easier.
Oh no.
It's a good
That's
joke.
what she said.
Well, Ryan and I and Ken watched The Fly last night by David Cronenberg, and so Jeff, you should just be regurgitating on top of the jerky and then eating it.
All right, after the first round, Triviality has 50 points, and Team ChoSteen is keeping it clean, and they're going to get started off in the second round.
We want to be unencumbered by those points.
Right.
Those pesky points.
Right, so the mid-round, second round, that's where you're going to fly away.
I'm thinking that the mid-round will probably appeal to both teams. I know Ryan and Neal both have a great love of film. So this is a film mid-round.
Yay.
It's all about the movies. So I'm going to give you 10 different movies. And what I want to know is who was the top billed actor or actress in that film? Neal already signaling to Matt that things are going to be okay.
Yes, that is my cue to just kind of take some me time for the next few minutes.
Kick back, take a nap.
Number 1, Roadhouse. Number 2, Runaway Train.
No, number 1, Roadhouse. Number 2, what's another Patrick Swayze movie?
Dirty
Dirty
Dancing.
Dancing. That's right. First one, The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Number 2, Pacific Rim. Number 3, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Number 4, Tropic Thunder. Number 5, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Number 6, Spotlight. Number 7, The Help. Number 8, Jurassic Park. Number 9, LA Confidential. And number 10, Mystic River.
Got some nice ensemble casts here. It's
This
a little
is
tricky.
Yeah.
Number 1, The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Number 2, Pacific Rim. Number 3, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Number 4, Tropic Thunder. 5, I Know What You Did Last Summer. 6, Spotlight. 7, The Help. 8, Jurassic Park. 9, LA Confidential. 10, Mystic River.
Yeah, so for our listeners, Team Triviality's left the studio to allow Team ChoSteen to discuss.
And we need all the help we can get, so.
Speaking of the
Think
help,
we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
No. Sam Neill is not top billed for Jurassic Park.
What?
No, it's Shirley Richard Attenborough, though.
I think
He's got to
so.
be top. No. He probably has the and. Or the with.
Tropic Thunder.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
Who else is in that?
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Sarah Michelle Gellar was in that movie.
Could she have been top billed? Who is, what was Hewitt in prior to this?
She's
Would she
the
be
main
top billed?
character. Sarah Michelle Gellar was, I think she was third victim? Yeah.
Okay. Spotlight's for sure Michael Keaton.
I forgot her name.
In The Help.
Yeah.
Well, we can put Octavia Spencer just as a placeholder right
okay.
now. Just think about it.
I mean,
Isn't
I have
Kevin Bacon in that?
Mystic River. No. No, you're thinking of Footloose.
No, I'm not thinking of There's another ensemble movie where it's Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon is widely known for not being in very many movies besides Footloose.
And Tremors. That was a fun movie.
No,
I dig
he's
Tremors.
that's why he's 6 Degrees of Separation guy, because he's in so much stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so both teams are locked in with all 10 answers. For sake of simplicity, I'll go ChoSteen and then Triviality each time. So let's start with Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
We went with Ian McKellen.
So I just want to make a quick statement here. Jeff, this is one of my favorite questions you've ever written, film related, because it could have been very easy, but all of these are ensemble casts, and coming at it from a sort of like an industry thing, a lot of these people, and I mentioned this to you when we were deliberating, a lot of these people in these casts could have been an and or a with, which is sort of a sign of respect in Hollywood as far as credits are concerned. So it was very hard to narrow down who these could be. And every answer I gave Matt basically 3 names of who it could be. And it was a toss up each time, because it's kind of hard to quantify who would be top billed, because sometimes it's an older actor who's more respected. Sometimes it's who's the biggest box office draw. So very good question. Just tip of my hat to you. But The first one, we just simply because he was the king, we went Viggo Mortensen.
So on that one, I believe he was top billed for all 3 movies. It was Elijah Wood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Elijah Wood was the one that I was fighting for. So.
Yeah, we thought it might be too simple, but yeah, that's yeah.
And on the second one, Pacific Rim, what'd you say, ChoSteen?
You want to say it?
I can't pronounce his name. You said
Idris Elba.
So this one was tough because we said it could either be Idris Elba or Charlie Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam is the lead in the film, and he was kind of big for Sons of Anarchy, but he wasn't big enough, I don't think, at that point. But we went Charlie Hunnam.
So I have that it's Charlie Hunnam.
I'm shocked at that answer.
Well,
Absolutely
Idris
shocked.
wasn't big enough in the U.S. at that point. I mean, he was on The Wire and everything, but I just don't think he would have had box office draw to be a top billed actor. But that's, I mean, I could be wrong.
Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. What did you say, ChoSteen?
We said Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and this one, again, the top 3 would be Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, or Henry Cavill, but it is, as Matt said when we were deliberating, Batman versus Superman, so we went Ben Affleck.
It is Ben Affleck. Sorry, I'm losing my voice today. It's Ben Affleck. Not what I was going for. It is Ben Affleck. You didn't want to go Jesse Eisenberg on that one? All right, and Tropic Thunder.
We went with
Ben Stiller.
Yeah, we also went with Ben Stiller for the fact that he directed the film, and we thought Robert Downey Jr. would have gotten the and or with Tom Cruise in that one.
Yeah, Ben Stiller was the top billed actor in that film.
Look at all these points coming your way.
Yeah, it feels nice.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. ChoSteen, what did you say on that one?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah. This is the one that I was the most insistent on and said Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Well done, both teams.
Yeah.
Good work.
Finally.
All right, who do you think the top billed actor or actress in Spotlight was?
We went with Michael Keaton.
So this is a tough one because you're looking at either Michael Keaton, Mark Ruffalo, or Rachel McAdams, and we thought Michael Keaton, being sort of the older actor, would have gotten the and or the with, so we went with Mark Ruffalo, actually.
So I've got Mark Ruffalo.
Ooh.
All right, ChoSteen, what did you say on The Help?
Octavia Spencer.
Even though Octavia Spencer won the Oscar, we actually went with Viola Davis.
So the studio actually gave the nod to Emma Stone as the top billed in that film.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Emma Stone. My bad on that one. I forgot about Emma Stone.
How could you, Neal? All right, and Jurassic Park. What
So-
was ChoSteen's consensus on that?
I was waffling between Sam Neill and Sir Richard Attenborough, but since Attenborough was in it for only a short period of time, and Sam Neill, was he kind of relatively unknown at the time?
Oh, I mean, he had been. He is the lead of the film.
Yeah, so we went with Sam Neill.
We went with Sam Neill too because we weren't sure. We thought Goldblum wasn't a large enough character to get top billing, and we thought Attenborough would have been like an and or a with.
It does revolve around Sam Neill.
Oh, good. Okay.
All right, another tricky one. I was in the other room with Team Triviality on this one. LA Confidential. What do you say, Team ChoSteen?
So we were waffling between Nicole Kidman and Kevin Spacey, which now that I'd seen the film, but I believe Nicole Kidman is on the cover, so we went with Nicole Kidman.
You've never seen the film?
It is not
Never.
Nicole Kidman.
Oh.
It's not Nicole Kidman? Who's on the cover?
The Oscar winner is Kim Basinger. But so we were thinking it was either Kim Basinger, Guy Pearce, Russell Crowe, or Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey's supporting. It's probably Kim Basinger now that I think about it because she won the Oscar, but we went with Russell Crowe.
Well, they didn't know who to promote before she won the Oscar, Neal. So it was Kevin Spacey.
That's bad. I see
Which
Nicole
is
Kidman's face.
that one is pure star power.
Yeah.
Like Russell Crowe and Guy Pearce are the stars of that movie.
Yeah.
And Mystic River, another great ensemble piece. What did you say, Team ChoSteen?
I think it was Robert De Niro when I last saw it, like years ago.
Robert De Niro is not in that film.
He's
Okay.
not. Damn
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Well, it's not Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon is in the film,
Oh, he is.
but the correct answer is
We went with Sean Penn.
Sean Penn.
okay. So after the mid round, Triviality was able to rack up 35 extra points, and ChoSteen is on the board with 20, bringing the totals to 85 for Triviality and 20 for ChoSteen. Moving into the second round.
Thanks, Ken. So, round 2, question 1. Which NFL team's stadium could practically be a CFL team, as they're the closest to Canada?
The border.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're locked in.
Okay, Triviality is locked in, so you guys can feel free to discuss.
Wow, that's really wrong.
You think, is it?
That's really wrong.
Let's hear this
I
really
feel-
wrong answer.
I wrote down Green Bay. Is
Is
that?
it Green Bay?
It's
Or-
pretty north.
Yeah, that's
That'll
up
help them.
north.
Yeah, but closer to the Canadian border, right?
Yeah, that's north. Where do you think Canada is?
I don't know. North?
South to Mexico.
I'm thinking of northern teams. How far is Detroit from Canada? I thought that was pretty close.
Detroit.
You
No,
are at least naming
okay.
cities with NFL teams, so you're in the right ballpark.
What about the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings? That's
That could be.
I think we should just lock in with that because that's the best I
Yeah.
got.
So three good prospects so far.
We came up with 3 answers, and then Matt had a nice guess for the.
Yeah, we were looking at Seattle. It's pretty close. Buffalo, New York. But we actually ended up going with Detroit because I'm pretty sure that you're able to kind of go right into Canada almost from Detroit.
See, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
That is correct, but I don't know where the stadium is.
So, just for reference, of all the ones mentioned, I believe Green Bay and Minnesota are both about 250, 300 miles away from the border, somewhere in there. Like 200, 250. Seattle is 63 miles away. Cleveland Browns, right across Lake Erie, are 30 miles away from the Canadian border. 8 miles from Buffalo to the Canadian border. And less than a mile, you will find the Detroit Lions Stadium from the Canadian border.
I had
Just
it.
went with yours.
Yeah, thanks, Chris McClellan, actor. I worked with, great guy. He used to that helped us out because he told me that he used to go over the border with his friends.
Yeah.
So.
I had a friend who they took a trip to Detroit, but they also got their passport because they said that they can just go right over to Canada.
Yep.
So,
I've been to many MAC championship bowls at the Lions Stadium.
yeah.
It's quite nice.
The Silver Dome.
Is this still the Silverdome?
No, it's not.
I don't believe so. Silverdome collapsed, didn't it?
It sure did.
Question 2. British police officers are nicknamed after the man who formalized their order in the 19th century. What are they called?
That's an answer, and it makes sense, but it's not right. But I'm okay with it. We're locked in.
This is wrong. But
Let's say beef tryst.
no, it's beef
Beefing?
eaters.
Oh,
I know it's wrong, but it has something to do with
My
the name
breakfast this morning.
and the order. Is it?
Jeff is currently a beef
I like
eater.
my answer better.
I think this is close. Yours is way wrong.
I just meant I had a bottle of gin for breakfast.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your jerky.
Did you have a bottle of beef eater for breakfast? We'll lock in.
You're locking in with beef eater?
Yeah, beef eater, the Queen's Guard.
All right.
If you had a bowl of gin for breakfast, that would explain some of these questions.
And what did you say, Team Triviality?
We went with Bobby's.
Bobbies. Yes, a
Oh,
nickname, common
That's
nickname for
right.
British police officers.
I do believe beef eaters were, I don't know if British, but yeah, like a Queen's Guard
Yeah,
or something.
I know they're not police officers.
They're at the
but
Tower of London.
Yes. Question 3. The 1990s were dominated by Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon in the NBA Finals, both winning Bill Russell Awards, 6 to Jordan and 2 to Olajuwon. Name either of the 2 NBA players who won in this period. Who weren't those gentlemen? So calendar years 1990 through 1999.
Yeah, I mean, because they won the 89-90 season. That would be him. We could name either?
Yeah, either.
Okay, Team ChoSteen is locked in with an answer. Triviality, did you have some discussion?
We're locked in, yeah.
Oh, you want to discuss?
Oh, I mean, so we talked about so the 89-90 season, the Pistons won the NBA Finals, and I was torn between Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas is the more likely answer, and then we were looking at the 98-99 season, which I think was the Spurs' first win, which would have been Tim Duncan's second year. And I was torn between David Robinson and Tim Duncan, but I think we're more sure about Isaiah Thomas, so we were going with Isaiah Thomas.
Team ChoSteen?
So I was just coming up with names in my head. So I don't know.
It's all right. Go ahead and say it.
We went with Charles Barkley and Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
They're totally wrong.
You're just looking for one answer.
I was just looking for one.
Oh,
That's correct.
Charles Barkley.
Okay.
They're both wrong.
Wow. So obviously, I figured Matt would have some idea here. So you are right. It was bookended. 90 was the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
You were between Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. Dumars won it in 89, and Isaiah Thomas won it in 1990. Then 3 for Jordan, 2 for Olajuwon, 3 for Jordan again, and the San Antonio Spurs in 99 with Tim Duncan. So you had both of them.
All right.
Really close.
Shaq then went on a 3-year run with the Lakers.
Because
and then
99-2000 was Shaq through.
Duncan won it again in 03. So it was like 6 players for 15 years.
And then 04 was Billups and with the Pistons.
And then Duncan again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Ben from Trivial Warfare.
Yeah, for the
89 Pistons.
That's right. So question 4. I'm going to have 3 listener submitted questions in a row here now because it's been a long time since I've hosted a game that wasn't a game of death.
Also, he didn't want to write questions.
No, I feel bad that I had questions sitting in my inbox for like 2 months. So question 4 was provided by David Wilkinson. One of Loki's many children, Sleipnir, is an 8-legged stallion. Who is his mother?
Is this in Thor Ragnarok? I didn't see that one.
I don't believe it's in Thor Ragnarok. No, this is just regular Norse mythology.
Well, that could potentially help you get to characters if that's your main source of knowledge of Norse mythology.
It sure is.
Is Kate Blanchett an acceptable answer?
I don't know anything about this, obviously. Actually, no one else would know that, but I do not. Talking to you, though, not that they're going to even take this answer because it's so absurd, but Loki's kind of like a trickster, so maybe he turned himself into a woman, had a baby. I'm just saying. I don't know. He could have done it. I don't know.
Doesn't seem outrageous.
Could have turned
Because I know no female names in any Norse mythology. I just know Loki's bad and some other. That's all I know.
And then there's some Vikings and then something.
Okay.
If you have
That's
one
a guy,
name, I'll
though.
go with your one name over my no name.
Odina.
That's a good name to have, too.
Okay.
We're locked in.
All right.
We're locked in as well.
All right, Team ChoSteen, what did you say on that one?
Freya.
All right, so they go with Freya on Team Triviality.
We're going with Lady Thor.
Lady Thor. Okay. Well, I'm disappointed, Neal. You should have kept your joke answer. Loki, in order to not lose a bet, shapeshifted into a mare in heat, used his feminine wiles to distract a giant's horse, and was impregnated. So he was the mother of his child.
That makes sense, too.
That does not make sense. Don't say, do not say that makes sense.
Yeah, it's because he was low-key a mare. Hey. It was funny.
So question 5 today, the real question 5, is from Asha Yosef. So name 3 of the 4 Division I universities which share their name with a color. And I'm looking for the name of the university, so not like their team. So the Stanford Cardinal and the Syracuse Orange are not what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for the universities which their full name is a color.
So for the record, because I wrote Bowling Green, that does not count.
Correct.
Gotcha.
That does not count. So I did a little bit of research into your question, Matt, and there are 5 total that have colors in them at all, if you include Bowling Green.
Okay.
So just there are 4 that are just color names.
Let's just go with those 3.
I don't care. I'm in.
All right.
I've lost interest. I'm in.
What was it that you said last week? You said if you don't immediately know, you just give up.
Yeah, usually.
Your New Year's resolution was to think a little bit longer on
And
this.
I did. I thought a little bit longer on
There you
this
go.
one. Maybe I needed to attend some of these universities. get some more knowledge. Yeah.
All right, Team ChoSteen, what was your one answer?
Brown.
And Team Triviality?
So we had brown. I think that there's a Cheyenne University, which I think is also a color.
Okay.
And then we went with Ivory, which I don't think is a school.
So you both clued in on brown. So far, so good.
Did you hear that? Brown.
Your other ones would be Auburn, Navy,
Jesus.
and Siena College in New York.
Siena. Yeah, that's, once
So
you say
no
them out
points
loud.
to be had.
No points to be had.
That's really easy once you say it out loud.
Question 6 is care of Jonathan Berlingeri. Thank you, Jonathan. According to concerthotels.com, which pop artist has the greatest vocal range based on their recorded music?
Oh, I know this.
Don't cry if you don't know the answer.
It's probably wrong too.
You guys locked in?
We'll lock in with this
Yeah.
one.
All right. So I'm pretty sure it's a male vocalist just because their low notes hit much lower, so the vocal range between the low and the high is much bigger than, and I know Ariana Grande and Mariah can hit like higher notes than any male, but I think the range from the low to the high, the males have an advantage. So we were looking at Axl Rose, Steven Tyler, they're more in that rock range. And then I was thinking Justin Timberlake because of Cry Me a River, but I don't really remember him hitting a lot of high notes. And then we just came with Frankie Valli and Big Girls Don't Cry.
I was thinking Ariana Grande because she does have a great range, but then we went with Justin Timberlake.
So it was mentioned. Don't Cry is a Guns N' Roses song. So that would...
It was
Pop
Axl
artist?
Rose.
It's Axl Rose.
Yeah, I was repeating over and over that Axl Rose has the best range, statistically speaking, because he's operatically trained. But when he said pop artist, I completely crossed out. I was like, well, let's not even go with it.
It's pop.
Yeah.
Especially at the time. Number 7. The 2017 movie Breathe, starring Andrew Garfield and Claire Foy, had what actor as its director?
So let's think about movies Garfield's in which maybe he acted with someone and he worked with them again.
More specifically,
No, I
he
know.
is an English actor from West London.
Oh, you've been there.
Yeah.
How's West London?
Neil's fourth home, after New York, LA, and Chicago.
We have a incorrect answer locked in.
We'll lock in ours as well.
All right, what'd you say, Team Triviality?
The old Gary Oldman.
All right, and
We
Team
s-
Justine?
We said David Attenborough.
I think Ken knows the answer to this one. Ken, who do you think it is?
It's Andy Serkis.
It is Andy Serkis.
Oh, man.
It's quite good.
Spoilers.
Many a mocap role.
I haven't seen the new Star Wars yet.
I haven't either.
That
Let's
he
go.
plays Snoke is a
It's a
spoiler,
spoiler.
even though he's in Force Awakens as well.
You ruined the movie for me.
It's over. I'm out. Question 8. What is the name of the cylindrical map projection commonly used for its ability to render lines of constant course? You might want to send lobbyists to Jed Bartlett to have it changed in schools.
Is that English?
That was English.
Was that a
That's a West Wing.
That's a West Wing reference.
Jed Bartlett.
West Wing. Got it.
There's like a whole episode about how they hate this certain map projection. It's so funny.
Oh, man.
It's always lambasted for being terribly
So
misrepresentative.
Yeah, it's the thing that makes why everybody thinks that Greenland is gigantic, right?
I mean, it is huge,
But like twice the size of Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that's called. I know what it is, but
It's probably named after the guy who created it, and I just...
this is what Buster Bluth went to school for.
Cartography.
Cartography.
The study of maps.
The study of maps.
Hasn't everything already been kind of discovered by, Cortez and NASA?
If only I was a cartographer.
A silent cartographer. For all the Halo fans out there.
I recognize the answer to this question from Jeff's ramblings all the time.
I know.
Jeff's big on maps.
But Jeff's big on things.
Yeah.
We're lock it in with this one.
Okay. And what'd you say?
Dome thing.
The dome. The only thing I could think of with maps is the yeahs. So that's,
Ken thinks he remembers it from my
Is it
incoherent.
Mercator?
It is the Mercator projection.
no idea what that is.
Question 9. Paul Revere's famous ride was not his. At least not the 345-mile one he gets credit for. What colonist was robbed of his rightful place in the canon of American history? That really sucks.
You know this?
Arliss, the guy who's on the show Arliss, Robert Arliss, he had a history thing that he taught. It was like unknown history of the United States, and one of them, it was not Paul Revere. It was this guy like Israel something or something Israel Esquire, and then
Let's just go with Hoover.
that's fine.
We have an answer that sucks.
Do you want to lock in with Decker?
Yeah.
Sure. We'll lock in another answer that sucks.
Well, you guys are onto the right thing in that it's a vacuum company, and Neal had the first name, Israel Bissell.
Oh.
I knew it was Israel. I knew it was Israel. I just cannot think of the last name.
All right, last question of regulation. The
Thankfully.
Great Pyramid of Giza is in what city?
Yeah, that seems right. But probably not, because that's easy then.
I don't know if this is it. I think this is too obvious.
Right.
I'm very proud. I did Matt category writing for the final.
Oh,
so
good. So we will have no idea what
I have no idea what you're voting. You're putting your points on.
we're locked in.
Perfect.
We'll lock in our wrong answer.
Oh, perfect.
All right, Team ChoSteen, what do you think is the wrong answer?
We said Cairo.
All right,
We
Team
came
Triviality.
to the same conclusion and said Cairo.
Well, neither of you is wrong, so don't feel bad about it. It's Cairo.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. If we played this game in reverse, you would have been really confident.
That brings ChoSteen's total to 30 and Triviality's to 125.
All right.
All right, now time for the final round. So I've got 5 categories that I'll read to both teams. Then I'll get their wagers, and then I'll read the questions. Category 1. Now that's irrational.
That's a math question.
Category 2. The times they are a-changin'. Category 3. Well, isn't that special? Category 4. I don't have the energy. Category 5. How high?
So you said that your categories don't give away what the questions are about, but because we know you, we can figure out all these. So the first one's going to be an irrational number question.
All right, don't give it away.
The second one's going to... It's only fair.
All right. All the wagers are in. Question 1. And now that's irrational. Which irrational number is approximately 2.7? Number 2. The times they are a-changin'. What part of men's clothing, often seen in suit attire, it used to be detachable to aid in cleaning? Question 3. Well, isn't that special? Which band holds the record as the only group to have 5 songs simultaneously on the top 5 of the Billboard 100? Question 4. I don't have the energy. C6H12O6 is the chemical formula for what substance? Question 5. How high? What is the highest nation in the world? That is to say, the country with the highest low point. So all the answers are in? Yeah. All right. So on to question 1. Now that's irrational. What were the wagers on this one, Ken?
Looks like Triviality went with 10, and with the Oakland 5, we have ChoSteen.
All right, let's go to the high wager of Triviality. What did you say, guys? What number is approximately 2.7?
I couldn't think of anything, but I just put the square root of 7.
Okay. Team ChoSteen.
It's irrational.
Square root of 3.
So E is the irrational number. That's approximately 2.7.
I thought of E and then quickly left my brain.
There's like E and pi. Those are like the 2 irrational numbers you should probably know.
E would have been a little too easy to say.
No, easy would have been if it was A. Question 2. What were the wagers on the times they are changing, Ken?
Triviality with 20, ChoSteen with another Oakland 5.
ChoSteen, what did you say on this one? What part of men's clothing used to be detachable?
We went with collar.
Team Triviality?
We also went with collar.
Yes, collar. I'm thinking very specifically of a scene in Boardwalk Empire when Steve Buscemi's putting on his collar separate from his shirt.
The origins of the blue collar was when poor families would color their collars blue because they couldn't afford to clean them every day, like white collar folks.
That must have been a more recent invention because blue for a very long time was a very expensive dye. So, Interesting. Well, isn't that special? What were the wagers, Ken?
Triviality with 20 and ChoSteen with another 5.
All right, Triviality on the high bet. What did you guys say? Which band?
The Beatles.
ChoSteen?
The Beatles.
It is the Beatles.
Yeah.
Question 4. I don't have the energy. What were the bets?
10 for Triviality, 5 for ChoSteen.
All right, what did you say on that one, Triviality?
Based on energy, I think being a clue, I put down caffeine.
Okay. And what did you say, Team ChoSteen?
I put carbohydrate.
So very specifically, it is the molecule glucose. Small, simple sugar. I mean, glucose is a carbohydrate, but...
Not all carbohydrates are glucose.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how high? What were the bets on that one?
10 and 10.
10 and 10. All right, Triviality, what'd you say?
We were thinking somewhere in South America, a lot of mountain ranges, smaller countries. We went with Peru.
And what were your thoughts on this one, ChoSteen?
So I'm not confident. Maybe it was the average low point, but we went with Nepal.
Nepal is a great guess for 2 reasons. One, if you're looking for a high low point, you probably don't want to pick a country that has a border on the sea, like Peru does. So you're looking for a landlocked country that's pretty high. That would be Lesotho, the landlocked country within South Africa.
Oh.
Has the highest low point.
Probably never going to get there.
All right, Ken, what were the final scores?
Okay, so during the final round, Triviality gained 10 points. ChoSteen lost 10. So the final scores are 135 for Triviality and 20 for ChoSteen. Triviality, you are today's cream of the crop.
I am the cream, the cream of the crop.
Yeah, that was a really hard game. Yeah, Ryan and Justeen, normally they're not that hard, so I'll have to invite you back another time.
There was a point where we had 7 out of 8 correct, and I was like, this might be our best game ever. And then we fell off the proverbial Mount Pichu cliff. And, it was rough the rest of the way.
It was certainly a humbling game for our first game.
Yeah, this is really fun.
We didn't force her to say that.
I'll give you the $20 later. Thanks again to Ryan and Justeen for joining us in the studio, and my co-hosts Ken, Matt, and Neal for being scorekeeper and playing along as well. If you want to engage with us, just find us at trivialitypodcast.com. You've got links to all of our stuff there. Thanks again to all of our Patreon supporters. We very much appreciate that. And for all of us, that was Triviality.
Merry New Year! Happy New Year. In this country, we say Happy New Year. Thank you for correcting my English, which stinks. I am Nanja Ibuko, exchange student from Cameroon. Beef jerky time. You want some beef jerky? Oh, please. There's plenty, you know.